So you might be wondering why I'm not in the studio. And if you didn't watch my ranking all the Pixar movies live stream, I'll explain it here. When I went to camp a couple weeks ago, I come home, my basement's flooded, which just so happens to be where I live, which just so happens to be where my studio is. So my studio's flooded, man. And every time I go down there to film either the Toy Story review or the Disclosure Day review, I risked my life because there's mold on the walls. I risked my life for you guys to give you some reviews. And some of you haven't even watched them. Go watch them. I risked my life being around mold for you. That's on you. Hey, we got a new Toy Story movie. And today I'm going to rank the 6 Toy Story movies that we have, including Toy Story 5 and Lightyear. Before I give you my review or my ranking, it's like 10:30. I'm a little tired, and I just got done doing an entire hour and a half long Pixar live tier ranking. So if you want to know my thoughts on all the Pixar movies, go watch that. But here is my Toy Story ranking. And with that said, coming in 6th place, Toy Story 5. And this is pretty unfortunate because I was looking forward to this movie. I was hoping it would manage to keep up with the same magic that those the original 3 had, and even kind of magic that 4 had. And it really didn't. But that's not to say I didn't like it. In my tier ranking, I still put it in the good tier. I still think every movie in this franchise is good or more. Things I liked about this movie is I love the focus on Jessie. And I think it makes way for some really emotional sequences inside of that movie. Not to spoil it, but some in the back half with her and her former child. Very good stuff emotionally. And as I was talking with some people, I think even as I grow older or even enter a different stage of life, if I ever have kids, I think those emotions would be elevated because they're emotions that will impact adults, and they are extremely effective. And there's all these emotional sequences throughout. There's stuff with Bonnie and her getting bullied and peer pressure and kind of depression or sadness a little bit throughout this movie. And so it's kind of the emotions work. It's overall a fun adventure. The buzzes work. If you're wondering what that noise is, it's storming outside. I'm right next to a fireplace, so it's raining, and so it's going down the fireplace. But anyways, all the little buzzes are pretty fun in here. The adventure's just fun in and of itself. The new characters that were introduced, I did like, especially the Potty Pal, voiced by Conan O'Brien. I thought he was quite funny inside the movie. But there's also a lot of things that didn't work. The script works for the emotional stuff. The script doesn't work for the pacing stuff or the inclusion of all these characters. There are times in this movie where it goes by way too fast or it starts to drag a little bit. It never fully finds its mojo pacing-wise. And the inclusion of all these characters, so our original toys, Bonnie's toys, the new house that we're in, it's just so much to where you have people like Porky or Porky, Ham, the bank, or Slinky, or Mr. Potato Head, who maybe say 2 lines. You got Forky, who says maybe 5 lines throughout the movie. This movie would have been the exact same if Woody stayed away. He did nothing in this movie except have a tiny little 3-second conflict with Buzz that was forgotten the very next scene. Woody did not need to be in this movie, and it's a little more frustrating considering how much I like Toy Story 4's ending of Woody's character arc, that they just brought him back to do nothing. So the inclusion of characters, the pacing, is all a little rough, and it's a Toy Story movie that I don't think I'm going to be revisiting that often. Number 5, we got Lightyear. Now this is just a fun adventure that I enjoy. So when it first came out, there's all this drama about that there's a gay couple in the movie. Now I'm a Christian. I am extremely religious. So obviously I don't stand for that sort of thing. But it was even worse with the moms in the area, the Christian moms that didn't let their kids watch this movie. So I didn't check out this movie until it came to Disney+. I heard terrible things about it anyways, and then the controversy that this movie had. So I didn't watch this movie until it went to Disney+, And I was surprised by how much fun I had. Now, maybe I wouldn't have as much fun if I ever revisit this movie. I only saw it once, so there's that. But I had a lot of fun with the adventure. I think Chris Evans is a really good Buzz Lightyear. I like his chemistry with everybody. In fact, I think everybody has a lot of fun chemistry and is pretty charming. The alarm clock cat is a highlight from the movie and has many laugh-out-loud sequences. There are all these little set pieces that just make the movie incredibly entertaining throughout. And I didn't hate the plot twist in the back half of this movie. There, I said it. I did not hate the plot twist like a lot of people did. Does it feel like the movie that Andy would have watched back in 95? No, not at all. Like, some people say it feels like the middle or end to a trilogy. I would fully have to agree. Some people say it's too modern. It wouldn't fit like the 90s aesthetic. Fully agree. But for me, I understand that it's not the movie he watched, but I didn't really mind because I had a good enough time with it. If I'm going to let the fact that it doesn't feel like a fictional movie in a fictional movie universe, and I still had fun with it, I'm going to give it overall positive score, even if it didn't like fully get the vibe right. Number 4, hot take time, and I am going to get roasted for this one, but I'm going to say it. Toy Story 2 is in my number 4 spot. Yes, that means Toy Story 4 gets a top 3 spot on the ranking, so deal with it. Toy Story 2 has a lot of great things. Don't get me wrong. There are so many things that work about this movie. It introduces us to Jessie and Bullseye, and those two characters are very interesting. Jessie's character arc kind of went full circle in like Toy Story 5, obviously, but her character arc in this film like really works and is some of the most emotional stuff inside of this entire franchise. Stinky Pete, I think, is a great villain. Woody's character arc and his motivation, I think, is really investing. The stuff with Buzz and Zurg and their adventure, it is fun. Al is a good villain. Stinky Pete's a great villain. My issue is with this one, and it might be a personal issue, is that growing up, I adored the first Toy Story movie. My brother liked this one a lot more, and so growing up, this is the one that my brother played over and over and over and over again. I barely got to watch the first Toy Story because he wasn't the biggest fan of it, and he loves Toy Story 2. And so my memories are sitting in a car, waiting for a doctor's appointment and watching Toy Story 2. Sitting at home while my mom's doing some work and watching Toy Story 2. Sitting in the bathroom, taking a shower, watching Toy Story 2. I don't know. It seemed like I watched this movie 1,000 times. So, personally, it's overplayed, and every time I watch it, I'm just like, yeah, I like it. But it just brings me back to the memories of watching it over and over and over again. And I get a little bored at some certain aspects. And I think a big part of that is the fact that what makes the first movie so special is the relationship between Buzz and Woody. And what do they do in the sequel? They separate them, which is just not a good idea. I missed throughout the entire movie, I just missed the chemistry between Buzz and Woody. It's just missing. And that's what makes something like Toy Story 4, 3, and 1 so much better than this movie, in my opinion, is that they are together pretty much the whole time. Even like you talk about Toy Story 3 and, you know, like Buzz is evil. Or you talk about Toy Story 4 and Woody's off with Forky. That movie doesn't sideline Buzz, and eventually they get back together for a good chunk of the movie. This one, like, they're just not together really for any of the runtime, and it definitely drags the movie down, in my opinion, despite all of the great things Toy Story 2 does. Kicking off my top 3, Toy Story 4, another massive hot take, and I was talking with people at church this morning, my pastor mainly, where he hates this movie, his wife hates this movie, his family hates this movie, and I'm just there. I really enjoy Toy Story 4. Now, when it first came out, I watched it with my brother and my mother didn't like it, and so that kind of impacted my opinion. Like, when it came out 7 years ago, I was probably like 12 or 13, and at that time, my mom didn't like it, so I'm like, it wasn't good then. I was too young to fully kind of formulate an opinion of my own. And so when I finally revisited it a couple years ago, I was surprised to find out how much I truly enjoyed this movie. Forky, which I know a lot of people don't like, I actually think is quite funny and charming, and like what he stands for, what themes that this movie dives into with Forky's character, I think is extremely effective. So I'm somebody who will defend Forky's character, and his relationship with Woody is a lot of fun. The new characters that we're introduced with are pretty fun as well. I really like seeing Bo Peep back. The animation style in this film is the best animation in this entire franchise. I mean, just look at that intro where the animation is just so dang good. And that's not saying that the animation in the rest of the franchise is bad, because it's great. That just shows you how good this movie truly looks. You also got the villains in this movie that are genuinely creepy, like giant dolls. That there's actually some horror elements kind of taken back from Toy Story 1, where I was kind of creeped out and on the edge of my seat in quite a few sequences. But the main thing you want to talk about with Toy Story 4 is the ending and how you stand on it. And part of me doesn't really like the way it was fully executed, but most of me just loves the ending and the idea of Woody learns that Bonnie's not really his kid, and he decides to help save toys now. I get how that can be offensive to a lot of people, how, like, this relationship between Buzz and Woody is, like, not really over, but, like, you're not going to see it through the other movies. Or at least we shouldn't have seen it, but we did in Toy Story 5 because they're stupid. But, like, I get the flaws there. But it just hit me on such an emotional level of finding your true purpose in life. And that's kind of what Forky stands for in this movie, that I just thought it was so effective. And even though it might not have been executed the perfect way, I love the idea. And it's a great ending to Woody's character arc for me, at least in my opinion. So I get a lot of people don't like it. I do. Maybe this movie doesn't have as much magic as the rest of the franchise. Like, I have this one considerably lower on my overall Pixar ranking than my next two. Like, the next two I had on the highest tier. This one doesn't hit those points. There's some pacing issues, not as fun to watch, or really not as rewatchable as these next two, but I like Toy Story 4, and you can't take that away from me. My runner-up, Toy Story 3. This is one of the greatest endings to a trilogy of all time. I absolutely love this movie. Whether it's the emotions you get of Andy going off to college, and if you watch this at the right moment, I'm in college. I'm fortunate enough to do online college to where I didn't leave home. I didn't go to another state or anything. But like this time of life where I'm watching so many of my friends go to college, like, it hits me on a different emotional level. So you get that stuff and the idea of being forgotten. And then you combine that with the daycare stuff, which is just genuinely really good. And just not only a really fun adventure with stakes and, like, stuff that you, like, a goal that you actually want to get out. But you have Lotso, who is just a really awesome villain in the movie. You hate him, but every time that he convinces the toys to help him, you feel like he's becoming the hero, but you know he's just one of the most vile bad guys in all of Pixar. And then you get stuff like the horror elements kind of incorporated in the daycare stuff with the monkey and the phone and kind of sneaking around stuff is all really effective. All that heads to a fantastic finale where you feel like the toys could die. And I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw the clip and I saw a really good argument that it's not that we feel the toys could die. It's the fact that they all hold hands and they accept death together. That is the true emotional punch in this one. Like, we know the toys aren't going to die after you watch the movie, right? Like, you know it. You know they're not going to kill them off. But it's the fact that they accept dying together that just hits me on another emotional level. So, also you see Lotso get what he has coming. So just overall, a really great ending to this trilogy. Part of me kind of wishes it stayed at a trilogy. Part of me like doesn't really mind because I like Toy Story 4. Toy Story 5 had its moments, but Toy Story 3 is a phenomenal ending to this trilogy. But my number one is, honestly, it's crazy to say because Toy Story 3 is like my third favorite Pixar movie. It's a 5-star movie, but fairly easily it's the first Toy Story. Like, I don't even think it's really close. Because I just love this movie so much, and it's my favorite animated movie of all time. It might not have that emotional gut punch that some of these movies do, but it's a movie about friendship. It's a movie about Woody and Buzz getting rid of their differences, working together, and becoming best friends for life. And it is just so unbelievably watchable. It's a crisp 90 minutes. It's a fun adventure filled with all these iconic moments. You got the stuff with Sid. You got the stuff at Pizza Planet. All these iconic areas, the iconic moments. The stuff with, basically scarring Sid for life, revealing that toys are real. And then obviously you got the horror elements that are utilized in this film with Sid that really, really work. It's genuinely hilarious. The chemistry between Tim Allen and Tom Hanks is phenomenal. They are genuinely funny. There are so many quotable lines, specifically out of Buzz, like, I don't believe that man's ever went to medical school, or out of Woody, like, you are a toy. Like, so many quotable moments, so many iconic sequences. It's effortlessly rewatchable. Like, I watch this movie 3 or 4 times a year. I got a big grin on my face every time. And I'm just reminded how this is a very simple movie with a simple premise. Toys come to life. They get lost. They got to get home. And just manages to make one of the best, most entertaining, and just most satisfying animated films of all time. Toy Story is my number one. Alright, that was my ranking of all 6 Toy Story movies. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. Plenty of videos coming this week, and with that said, subscribe.